Dude,
What's up, man?
I'm exhausted. Okay.
I'm exhausted. It's fucking the day that we turn the clocks forward. It doesn't make
Yeah.
any fucking sense.
I don't know if we've saved light or spent it or what, but I'm tired. And
Yeah.
part of the reason is I got off work last night. Okay.
Yeah.
Got home, got into some comfy clothes, aka my birthday suit. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Laid down in bed, opened up my phone, went to my private browser. Okay.
Yeah.
And I looked up a little website that I think anybody listening would be pretty interested to check out.
You're building this up into a lot, and it's it's not gonna be good.
Oh, it built up to a lot. Okay.
Okay. What was the website? What did you go to?
All right. I hope my mom's not listening.
Mm.
2fuckinidiots.com, baby.
Yeah.
I know you guys, if you've been listening, know Jordan's been practicing coding.
Mm-hmm.
And he did mention, I think, that he bought the domain for 2fuckinidiots.com.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not 100% done. It's not 100% perfect.
Yeah.
But it's real cool, and you should go right now. Pause listening. Jump over to the internet and check out 2fuckinidiots.com. Because you can elaborate on it. It's
It's
pretty
basically like, first of all, it's like Robbie said, it's not 100% done. There's some links that don't do anything, but they are potentially going to be like a new page to go to or whatever. But basically, it's a homepage where I'm just for right now going to link the video that you're watching. If you wanted to see it on there or whatever. There's a couple different things you can do. You can hit all the icons. Will bring you to every single one of our social medias.
Socials. Yep.
And then also the send us an email part. You can click, and it literally will bring up your fucking email, and it'll do all the work for you. And you just got to send us an email. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
And super excited about it. Honestly, I was really excited to put it together. I'm slightly like under excited because it's not like the flashiest fucking thing in the world,
Hey.
but it's cool as fuck to me.
I mean, you have a tendency to, and I mean, we do talk about this in the episode too. So when you hear it in the episode, be just as excited as you are right now.
Yeah.
Please. But Jordan, you have a tendency to like get pretty good at something really like way faster than a human is supposed to.
Sure.
And then be upset that you're not perfect at it, after 3 weeks of practice. It's amazing. Like
I talked to Janelle and Adam a couple of weeks ago, and
Yeah.
Adam does a lot of this type of work. Not even 100% sure what he does. Who knows what he even does? He's a hacker for sure. But he was asking me questions that I literally had no real response to, and I've never felt more discouraged in my life. And not even his fault. Just, oh man, this is not good.
No, he was showing you who the alpha was.
Oh, for sure.
He's like, oh, did you put a dot div after the hyper bracket parenthesis dinosaur man? And you're like, what? Just so he can be like, yeah, that's what I thought. Right?
Yeah,
So-
but anyway, go to the website. Tell us
Yep.
what you think. Hopefully it works out for you. It should work on mobile and desktop, which I didn't even know that was a thing, really, but there is a difference.
Still don't.
And let us know.
Enjoy the episode. It's a good one. I feel like,
Robbie has a joke that is the funniest thing he's ever said in his entire life in this episode, and it is the fucking best thing ever.
I can't wait for people to listen to the whole episode and be like, where was that joke? Where was that joke that Robbie made? But it's okay.
Okay, I didn't mean to build it up.
Let's get
but...
to it.
All right, let's start the show. Let's do this.
Happy or sad, it's story time with 2 fucking idiots.
I was born ready is so fucking stupid, dude. Like, I get why, but it's like, no, you weren't, okay?
Yeah.
You're like, hey, it's the bottom of the 9th. We need 3 outs left. Are you ready? I was born ready. Huh? Okay. You couldn't walk. You couldn't talk. You shat yourself, several times a day. You were not born ready. Knock it the fuck off.
People that say I was born ready are the same kind of people that wore those like no fear shirts in like the early 2000s. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
like,
I saw
no fear? Are you fucking serious? I'm scared all the time.
all the time. This is what, and I mean, this is mildly serious, but I was talking to my mom. I was like, It's like, man, I used to thrive on like pressure and nerves, you know?
Yeah.
Doing musicals or going out and playing football, you get nervous and you used it. But that's because I was confident, because I was stupid. I didn't realize how many people in the world were better than me at everything, right?
Yeah.
So now that I know those things, the nerves, I'm like, maybe I'll just sit in my car for 25 minutes before I go in, you know?
It's tough, man. Being an adult.
Yeah.
I look back on like photos of myself as a child, and I
Yeah.
think like I didn't have a care in the world. I didn't know that I had a full-blown mustache at the age of 11.
Yeah.
That was maybe not a good look for me. Like, I didn't
Exactly.
care because all I knew was, like, I love sports, and girls
Yep.
were like, they're okay. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I video games were fun. I had
Listen.
so much confidence in my life.
11-year-old girls are not looking for mustache rides, okay?
No.
So you were...
No.
And I mean, I applaud you because it's like, what has that been, 20 years since then?
Yeah.
And you still haven't figured it out. But it's like you know what I mean? You keep trying.
So mean.
I
Remember, I
know.
have less confidence now after talking to you about this.
Yeah, you're right. We've ruined each other, but mostly me. I'm such an asshole.
Honestly, I can't
Oh.
even take you seriously anymore. The moment that you're like your tone of voice and your cadence starts to become like it seems like you're about to be nice, I know
Yeah.
that you're not going to be nice. So
And
it's perfect.
And it's funny because like, and this literally isn't a diss, but between the two of us, like, if you knew us in like certain ways, you'd be like, Jordan's kind of quiet and you know, maybe brooding, right? And I'm like the funny, like, good looking, awesome guy.
Yeah.
But no, really, I'm a fucking asshole, and you're like a sweetheart. Is really
Yeah,
what it
yeah.
boils down to. But
No, it's cool, man. It's how we communicate. And honestly, the moment that the recording light is on, you know, it's no holds bar at this point. Like,
Exactly.
we just gotta go after it. So hey,
We're-
welcome back, everybody.
we're two fucking idiots,
Yeah, we're two fucking idiots. I'm Jordan,
and I'm Robbie, and we're
Yeah.
two fucking idiots. Every time I say it first, and then it's like we should say our names. I don't know. I keep fucking it up, but
no one
I'm
cares.
gonna do a little magic trick for you.
Okay.
So prepare to cream your jeans. So I haven't smoked Marlboro cigarettes in probably like 8 years, but when you are a smoker, to incentivize the decaying of your lungs, they like to send you presents.
Yeah.
And one of the 2 presents I got for my birthday this year was like a personalized deck of playing cards. Literally says RB January 4th on it. It's like the most thoughtful present I've ever got in my life.
Yeah.
So just don't tell Marlboro that I don't smoke those cigarettes anymore. So,
That's
anyway.
really interesting you say that because I don't want to out anybody or do anything weird, but I
Yeah.
know somebody who went to like the Marlboro like ranch because of like a sweepstakes or something like that, and they said it was the most fun they've ever had in their entire goddamn lives.
growing up, they used to do Marlboro miles. Do you know what that is?
It
So
sounds maybe similar, but yeah.
on every pack of cigarettes, the side, you know, like the side thing that has like the little chevron on it. I don't know, you're probably not familiar, but it would say 5 miles, and each pack of cigarettes got you 5 Marlboro miles. And so my dad would puff, finish a pack, rip off the 5 miles, throw it into like a bucket or something, and then we would count them all up, and you could use them to redeem prizes. And they'd send you a magazine and you can look through it. I, to this day, have like a pool cue that I got from him.
Really? That's
we got
crazy.
sleeping bags, tents, like you could get leather jackets and boots and stuff, like, and you know, especially back then, my dad was a cop. We rode horses. He was a cowboy, right?
Yeah.
He smoked a lot of cigarettes. And they didn't give a shit about secondhand smoke back in the day, so you could just smoke in the house. So he was just puffing and just drinking brandy and smoking cigarettes nonstop. But hey, I got a fucking pool cue out of it. So
Honestly, that just tells you how profitable it is to have a cigarette company that you can
Literally.
just give away prizes that people think is like a luxury item, and you're like,
of course.
that's like a 1% of our fucking monthly profits at this point. That's
Yeah, you got to smoke 20 packs to get like a windbreaker, and in the process, you've spent $250, to
that
smoke
actually
the cigarettes.
reminds me when we were at that family fun night thing. We were in like the like where you redeem your tickets, right?
Yeah,
Dude, I don't know if inflation has like affected those prices
Oh
either.
no!
But man, I think at the most we got like 30 tickets. We didn't play any games really. We played like 4 or 5 games. We got like 30 tickets, which gets you literally nothing. Like not even
You
like
can't
a
even-
Tootsie Roll at this
Jolly
point.
Rancher,
Like
yeah.
literally ridiculous. But there was a PS5 and a Xbox X or whatever it is, and it was for 500,000 tickets.
Wow.
And Steph was like, "How long do you think you'd have to play to get that much?" And I was like, "You'd probably have to spend at least like $5,000 to get enough tickets, but it would take you 3 goddamn years to do it. Like it would take you so
By then,
long."
it's like their PS6 is out. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, and the other thing
it's-
is like you can't find a PS5, so I was like, I'll buy that from them. I'll just buy it right now. I can't fucking get one at the store. They've all been sold out. I want to buy that. Give me however many tickets it costs. Let me
even
do it.
if you hit the $1,000 ticket bonus every time you played on that little spinny wheel or whatever,
Yeah.
you'd have to play 500 times and hit it every time. That's at least $500, right? Because you're paying about $1 for each spin.
At least, dude. And now everything is out. Like, I should have talked about this last week, but there's no like physical tokens anymore. It's all like on like a credit card, basically.
Yeah.
And so you don't even
Yep.
get the tickets back either. Those are all associated with that card. There's something that's lost in it. I don't know. It's a little bit. I
Oh,
sound
yeah.
like a grandpa at this point, but it does. When you see the tickets like protruding out of the fucking machine, you're like, check this out, ladies. Look how long that stack is.
You got just a fistful of tickets, you know, Rosen, man.
Yeah, right.
Where, or you like feed them into the machine,
counter thing?
right? It's like tick, 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 and then it'd rip off, and you'd be like, darn it, and you'd have to go back and keep feeding them in, you know? And who knows if that was even accurate? They were probably ripping us off anyway. But
Probably. I just feel like I never bought anything from one of those ticket, redeemer places that was ever worth anything. I got like a
Ever.
Slinky, and I was like, look, and I lost it immediately.
the little plastic frog that you would like press down on its butt, and it would jump 3 inches.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, woo, right? It's
But
like,
to
I
Sawyer,
wish-
that would be fucking dope for like an
I
hour at
know.
least.
He
would
loves that shit.
He would love it.
I wish more people were impressed with 3 inches. Anyway, all right, ready? Tell me when to stop. You're going to be super impressed with this trick.
All right. Stop.
All right, my eyes are closed. This is your card, okay?
Okay.
Take a look at it.
Uh-huh.
I'll separate it from the bunch. You can see it's the only one. I promise my eyes are closed. There's no reason for me to cheat this, okay?
Yeah, it's not like you're
All
on
right.
camera or anything.
Exactly. So check it out. Eyes closed still. I'm going to split the deck once.
Nobody
that I
can
can
see
open-
this. You're being shady at this point.
I just can't. My eyes were closed. Okay, so now I cut the deck once, right? So my eyes are back open.
Sure.
Let me cut it a few more times, right?
Yep.
All right. Let me feel the energy of the card, okay? I got to feel the energy of the card, right?
Yeah.
Is it any of these? Nah, it's none of those, right?
Oh, throwing them away. Cool. That perfect
Is
gift
it
from
any-
Marlboro.
Exactly, right? Is it? It might be in that stack, right? All right, is that any of these? Oh, shit. I just dropped them on the ground. All right. It's the 9 of spades. Anyways, that
All
was
right,
my
there we
magic
go.
trick. Boom roasted. I'm fucking magic. And now
That's
we
good.
can move on with the podcast.
Dude,
that was
I-
a disaster, but you're
I used
impressed
to
like a
be-
little bit, right?
I used to be such a fan of magic to the point where we went to a restaurant. I think it was like Gale's Inn. I think it was like
Yeah.
that fancy fucking restaurant. And there was a magician going around the fucking like dining room floor. No idea
Yeah.
why. Just like going around and being like, "Hey, here's this trick." And he did a trick for us. And it was like a trick where it involved like ripping a playing card.
Yeah.
And I went home that day, and I must have ripped 4 or 5 full decks. Like, just,
Yeah.
I wanted to figure out so bad how that guy did that. And I think I figured it out, but there was no way I did it in any sort of like classy way. Like, I was like fumbling and like, dropping cards on the floor and like not really knowing how to present the trick as well as you'd like to.
Yeah, that's really the magic of it. I can't stand people who have like Googled how to do a trick and then will call someone out while they're doing it.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, we've all seen Harry Potter, okay? We've all seen magicians our whole life. Magic Dave, rest in peace. I don't know if he's dead, but it's like,
Probably.
I mean, I'm guessing he was at least an alcoholic, and I haven't seen him in like 15 years. So
Yeah.
So rest in peace, Magic Dave. But like, we know magic isn't real. Can you just fucking appreciate it, please?
Dude, I hate on this podcast to like perfectly reiterate a comedian's bit, but I'm going to at this point. Pete Holmes has a bit about basically, have you ever thanked yourself that you're not a magician at this point? And people like laugh. And he's like, magicians have to like lie to you from the very beginning. Like they have to be mysterious and I was born on the tip of a pyramid and like just the stupid shit that happens. And he's like, and also the people at a magic show are the only people that are actively trying to ruin it for themselves.
Yes.
Like the entire audience is trying to figure it out so that they're not amazed by what just occurred. And he goes on and he explains a little more. But he also has a really funny thing where he's like, being a comedian is great because there is a inherent like response to hearing something funny. You laugh, it's something like that.
Yeah.
He's like, but when you see him a great magic trick, you don't have any response other than like amazement. You don't say anything. Yeah. It's like you maybe clap or whatever. And he's like, I wish there was like a noise that you could make that is similar to laughter, where you're just like, magic, like just so fucking excited about magic. But for real, you have to be lied to the entire time, and you have to be like pretending that you're some sort of mysterious thing. I don't know. It's weird. Well,
the people who like out loud verbalize what just happened in front of them are the same people that go to a haunted house and are like, what? I know you're fake. I'm not scared of you. Like, why did you come here?
Dude, they were born ready. What are they fucking waiting for?
Dude, no fear, dude, for sure.
No fear, bro.
I've never gotten closer to punching an 11-year-old without actually being 11 than when we used to work the haunted train ride.
Yeah.
And kids would try to be tough, and I'm like, God, I know that we would get sued and I'd get arrested, but I'd teach for the rest of that kid's fucking life. Every time they went to any sort of haunted house, they'd actually be scared because they know you can't just say whatever the fuck you want to somebody.
Didn't we have like some sort of like weapon with us? Was it like we were holding like a stick or something? I can't remember.
I think we bloodied up a baseball bat.
Yeah.
I think
I remember distinctly trying to put some fear into this snot-nosed bitch kid in front of me.
Yeah.
And like hitting, like he was like sitting on like a table. And I remember like hitting the fucking table right next to where he's sitting to like jolt him into I could have fucking literally hit him with a fucking bat. Like
you would have broken his bones. Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with me? It was just to like try to make myself feel good as a 19-year-old who wanted to really scare some kids. I don't know. Fucking weird,
our job was not to like hurt people, but it just maybe it was the contacts or something, but it really inspired me to hurt people.
Speaking of hurting people, the news broke this week that our softball teams are going to basically split into 2 different teams. It seems like 60% of us kind of knew that was going to be a result at some point.
Probably at least 50%, maybe the 50% on the A team or something. But I don't know.
I just people knew there was like 27 people that wanted to play, and like I don't know if anybody knows anything about softball or baseball. It's like 9 or 10 people is probably
exactly
okay. So we got a lot of people. So we were the news finally broke. And there was some drama that was brought up, man.
Like legitimate drama?
Yeah, I mean, like I'm trying to work. It's on a Friday. Like I'm trying to get like done with my job, and like the group text is just pinging away.
No.
People. I think people were like maybe just not understanding that was going to be a thing. but also some people I think were a little bummed because they, maybe wanted to play with other people, blah, blah, blah. It really it doesn't matter. It's going to be fine. It was a little uncomfortable for like an hour.
Yeah, rightfully so, you fucking prick. Okay. How dare you? No, I get it. You go and you want to play.
Yeah.
I'm sure some people want to go and drink and whatever.
Well, that's the main thing. Last year we had so many people that were like, hey, I want to play. And then they couldn't end up going, either scheduling conflict or whatever. And then we would, some other people would be like, hey, my friend wants to play with us. So then at the time, like, that game was fine. But then the next game, when those people showed up again and the people that already were supposed to play, it was like we have 17 people in the dugout. Like, this isn't going to fucking be good for us.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Nobody wants to play and hit once. You know what I mean? Like, they want to go and have fun. So I think that's the general idea, is that if we split up the teams, it'll be nicer. Plus, we'll get to play against each other, which will be a fucking shit show.
That'll be awesome. That'll be awesome. Yeah.
There's going to be some shit talking. Oh, it's going to be awesome.
As a competitive person, I can understand the like blow to your ego if you perceive that maybe you're not on like the quote unquote competitive team, right?
Sure.
And so I could totally get that, but we as humans have to be at least a little conscious of the fact that maybe we're not meant to be on a certain, at a certain level. Or
in my opinion, I feel like the team that I'm a part of is a more serious team when it comes to how the game is played. And the other team is very like, let's see how many beers we can have type of team. And that's there's definitely a need for both of those in any situation. But it just seems like it's maybe like more of like, the people that are good at softball. The people are not as good at softball.
You're such a dick.
When all this was coming down, I was like texting the group and I was like, I'm gonna fucking bring this up.
Listen, I want you to know that I hope that both of your teams do very well. And you both go undefeated and you beat them during the regular season.
Yeah.
And then you both make your way all the way to the championship game.
Sure.
And they just fucking bend you over and rail your asses, okay?
Yeah.
I hope you two is what we'll call them, the second team, just totally demoralizes your team. And if it comes down to it, I'll come down and I'll make a special guest appearance.
I think you might have to, man. I think
the great Hambino, you know what I'm saying? I'll call my shot.
Yeah, I think it should be good. Honestly, it was a little bit of drama, but I think some people were a little weirded out. But once we get playing, it'll be fine. It'll be
Hey,
great.
To those people who are for sure listening to this podcast, like the rest of the country, you're not good at softball. All right, I'm sorry. And there's nothing wrong. Listen, when I was in 6th grade, my dad sat me down before the baseball season, and he was like, "Rob, listen, you're good at a lot of things. Okay, you can sing. You're good at football. You're a ladies' man. Obviously,
good magician.
You're gonna have magician. Yeah, you're gonna have an award-winning podcast someday when they become a thing.
You're born ready.
But but baseball maybe isn't one of those things, And so maybe we should take this season off and explore something that you just are good at,
How did you react to that?
I was 50-50. Obviously to him, I was like, yeah, that's totally fine. Inside, I mean, a small part of me died, like just a tiny part. But then I realized that he's right. Okay. I like baseball. I like throwing the ball around.
Yeah.
I can't hit to save my life. Okay. And I just don't, no one took the time to be like, turn your hips. I don't know if they were just like, put the fat kid in left field. We're not going to teach him how to play. I would have been a great catcher. Yeah. Have you ever seen how quickly I can get to up and down? All right. As a big guy, but
yeah,
I digress.
Yeah. You don't have to relive it today, man. Don't worry.
I kind of just did. And so I just need a break, just a quick break. But no, and then I went on and I was great at football and I, was good at a lot of different things, but definitely baseball was not one of them. So,
well, I think we're all happy that you chose to give up on your dream.
Yep.
And just, pursue something that's a little easier. You know what I mean? That makes sense. Like given your personality and like how you struggle like getting through any sort of thing. I'm just going on.
Okay. Yeah. So, well,
As I was
let's
going, I
just-
was like, this is. There's a lot of things I'm saying at this point.
Now that you mention it, let's just go through a roadmap of my life. Forced to quit baseball, and then got into football. Played for a few years. Ended up, and my dream was to run out of the tunnel at Notre Dame. And then enlarged spleen, had to quit football, which was great. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So then I got into musical theater, right? So in high school, I was the lead in like 3 musicals in a row,
Yeah.
Life was great. Went to college. Didn't go well. So then had to quit that, and then which was awesome. And should I keep going? My life is great, Jordan.
No. I think you should tell the story that happened to you this week in order to ease everybody's tensions and bring a little levity to this situation.
The good news about my credit card, are you
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. Luckily, I get a push notification from Capital One that's like, you spent $1 at Amazon. I'm like, no, I didn't, but maybe I have some sort of subscription, right? I feel
Sure.
like I've got $10 in subscriptions coming out of my fucking bank account every single day. So I'm
Dude,
like,
I
okay.
feel like I have like 100 and I don't even know.
Yes.
And they're all like microtransactions. I'm never going to be
Yeah.
able to figure it out. Anyway, go ahead.
Where'd all my money go? Exactly. And so then, I don't know, 25, 30 minutes later, I get another one that's like $6.77 to Amazon. And so finally, I'm like, okay, I better check this out. I go on Amazon. I didn't make any purchases.
Was Sawyer on your phone or something? Like, was it?
No, he knows better. We've had this conversation a few times, but no, he doesn't. It's not linked to that. Not that credit card,
Okay, yeah.
Not my Quicksilver ending in No, I'm just kidding. So, and so I check it out, and I didn't make any purchases on Amazon. I go and I check. So I lock the card, and you know what I mean? I request a new one, which, just for the record, I'm the last person you should be stealing money or an identity from. Like, the $13 until I hit my credit limit isn't going to get you much,
Yeah.
You're already halfway there after your $7 in purchases, okay?
Sure.
And so I'm like, okay, whatever. This has happened to me before. Someone stole my credit card once, and I had to go through a McDonald's, and they wouldn't sell me my $1 Coca-Cola.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst part is I was like, okay, I think someone stole my credit card. And they were like, okay, have a good day. They had already poured the Coke. They couldn't just it's a Coke. I'm sure the employees get to drink as much as they fucking want. They couldn't give me 1 cup of Coke. I was dying of thirst. Middle of summer.
Yeah.
It's like $1.07. Just hand it over, fuckers.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They like poured it out right in front of you.
Yeah, exactly. And so they actually went to hand it to me and then threw it into my car so that it would explode all over me and I'd have to go to the car wash, which I couldn't pay for because my debit card got hacked.
Yeah.
But anyway, so fast forward a couple days and I get a package from Amazon. I'm like, it's weird. And it's not my name or my mom's name, but it's our address. So we're like, okay, this is interesting. I wonder if it's connected. Open it up. It's some Neutrogena face scrub, right? And it's addressed to Zoe Washkowiak or whatever at my address. So I look it up on Amazon, and sure and shit, this Neutrogena costs about $6.77. You know what I mean? And so I don't know if this was like an elaborate plan to make fun of my complexion, or it's just like the nicest identity thief in history. They're like, listen, we're going to fucking steal your money, but we'll send you all the stuff that we buy,
That is super interesting.
Yeah. They tried to spend another $300 the other day, which luckily I had locked my card and I'm broke, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. But it's like, would I have gotten that in the mail too, right?
Well, like, was the first purchase to like butter you up so that you're like, listen, Zoe, you do whatever you want with my card.
Hey.
You've made a great selection.
Literally like, okay, let's see where this goes.
Yeah,
oh,
Zoe,
shit.
I like your style.
I looked
interesting.
up the name on Facebook, and there is a Zoe Washkowiak like 4 hours away in Illinois. And And I'm like,
So you're gonna take a road trip and be like,
Yeah.
here's your facial scrub, and then like throw it in her face.
she was kind of cute, so I'll give her a facial scrub, if you know what I mean. Come on, give me some. All right. But yeah, that's what I've been dealing with. And
So
like I said, thank God.
it's either that somebody tried to butter you up, or they're the
Yup.
dumbest fucking criminal
Yeah.
at all time, like forever. Like that's the
Sure.
weirdest. How do you overlook the fact? So not only do they have your credit card, they have to have your Amazon, right?
Well, or just my address, which is a little scary. I've been super paranoid about it.
Well, now that I'm a coder, you're fucked, dude. You're like
Yeah.
people that are dorky coders can like figure things out. I mean, hackers
Yeah.
exist, obviously, but like I have no hacking ability, and I can like tell you what tomorrow's Wordle is going to be because I can read the code to figure it out. Like,
Can
there's
you really?
Yeah, there's like a huge fucking list of 5-letter words that are, potential options for you, and like, yeah, there's a.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did go from like 0 to Edward Snowden in like 3 weeks. I don't know how it happened, but
The NSA is
you-
listening to you.
I know. That's why I said it. At least someone's listening to the podcast now. So,
Yeah.
twofuckingidiots.com. Subscribe. Hey,
we didn't even talk about it yet. Yeah,
I know.
we
Go
have a
ahead.
working website that is not completely good yet. Like,
No, there's
there's some
still
links
needs
that
some
don't
work.
exist at this point, but I feel like the structure is there, and you can click things. You can send us an email. There's this fucking
Yeah.
dope thing that you can do where I changed it up from where it was when you saw it. Instead of like the bottom being email, it's like up at the top. Anyway,
Oh, okay.
when you click it, it automatically opens up your fucking email associated with like sending it to us. So like it's addressed to us. And then there's a way that you can like set it so that the subject says whatever I want it to say. And it's the
Hell
fucking
yeah.
coolest thing I've ever, like, I don't know how that's even possible. That doesn't make any sense.
I'm a fucking idiot. That's for sure.
Yeah. So send us an email, go to the website, click the link. It'll do
Twofuckingidiots.com.
all the work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, Jordan just one day was like, well, I started coding. And then, a week later, he's like, okay, I built a fake website for my class. And I was like, oh, shit, okay. Then a week later, he's like, I bought this domain and built us a website. I'm like, how? How is it possible that in 3 weeks, that would have taken me 2 months to figure out?
Dude, I when I put it together, I put together like a very simplified version of what it actually is right now. And I forgot that I mentioned that I bought the domain name on the last pod, and I was like, I can't leave that up. Somebody's going to go to that website and immediately be disinterested by how not good it looks. So I like
Sure.
immediately took it down. I was like ready to go to bed. I was like a moment from sleep, and I was like,
Yeah.
I have to take it down. Jared's gonna fucking see this.
Oh, my gosh, Jared. Didn't he email us from it?
Yeah, he sent us an email to let us know that I spelled Shaquille O'Neal wrong. Which
He
was
called
really
your ass
cool.
out?
Yeah, and he did it in such a friendly, personal way by saying, "Did you intentionally mean to spell this wrong?"
Oh.
Or no, I spelled the O'Neal part wrong. I spelled a different style of Neil.
Yeah,
no
you-
big deal.
you-
Fixed it.
You wrote it, Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah,
Boyle.
exactly.
Come on down to the St. Patrick's Day with Shaquille O'Neal.
But I was kind of hoping that it would be impressive that I fixed it in 2 seconds because
Yeah.
I'm a coder. I know where it is. I know how to fix
Dude,
it.
you do, and you did fix it. The thing that drives me crazy, and this isn't a stray shot at Jared because I'm similar.
Yeah.
I have a hard time telling people things, but it's just fucking tell me I messed it up. Just be like, hey, idiot, you spelled O'Neal wrong. This
Yeah.
is how you spell it,
Yeah.
Instead of this backhanded, hey, was this some sort of abstract, maybe avant-garde way of spelling O'Neal that I haven't heard about yet?
Yeah.
Because it's probably super cool. You probably know something that I don't.
Yeah.
But if you don't, then I think it might be spelled this way.
I
you know?
actually responded back to him and said I was referring to the other Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh yeah,
And-
the other one.
I was hoping to God I could find a picture of somebody with that other name, but honestly, you just type in Shaquille and you're never getting anybody but Shaquille O'Neal.
No,
it's
I
too
mean-
hard. Shaquille O, and you're done. It's not going to be anybody else. So
I I was working at TGI Fridays years ago, and a kid came in and ordered an Angry Orchard, and I asked for his ID, and I looked, and his name was Shaquille O'Neal, or not O'Neal, excuse me, but his name was Shaquille, and I was like, nah, no way, your parents fucked up.
Yeah.
There should never be another Shaquille. There's another Shaq. There's Shaq Barrett, right? Isn't he a football player or something like that? And it's
I think there's a couple of Shaquilles, honestly. But I mean, there's only one in my heart, and this podcast
Exactly.
hearts.
Yeah, you should change your name if you're not
I think we
the
should.
one and only Shaq.
Hey man,
If we should get him on this podcast. What? Go ahead.
we could at least like throw in like a tweet at him or something.
Yeah.
God, I would be so nervous. Anyway, his wiener would need his own like window on the.
maybe we could just ask him if his dick would make an appearance. We've talked about it so many times. We're huge fans. So,
All Let's make it happen.
What were you
anyway,
gonna say?
Hey, we're like half hour in, and it is
Okay.
time for you to ask an important question.
You ready for some mind-blowing facts?
Yep.
Yes. Perfect. I'll go first because mine is kind of traumatizing,
Okay.
and I'd rather just get it out of the way. I just opened up my phone to a horrifying album cover that I forgot
no.
about. So, all right, I'll just tell you the name of the note. It's called Coochie Saw. All right, that's how I have this labeled. Did you know that the very first? Do you know what I'm about to say?
No.
I saw this on
Hold
TikTok.
on. It sounded like you were about to do a Jeff Foxworthy redneck bit where you'd be like, Coochie
Yeah.
saw, and you're like, Coochie saw that bitch over there. Or, you know what I mean? Like, it sounded like one of those words that he would say.
Yeah, last night that coochie saw 9 inches. My wife and I did it 3.5 times.
Dude, that's a really good impression.
That's not bad, right? You might be a redneck.
Yeah.
Here's your sign. Listen, I was all about it.
Yeah.
Tater salad.
Yeah.
Larry the Cable Guy, who actually sounds like he went to Princeton.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he's like, yes, my name's Lawrence. And, I don't know. That's
right.
just a character, but.
Back to
All
your
right,
fact. Sorry.
back to my fact. The coochie saw.
Yeah.
So, the very first ever chainsaw was not invented to cut down trees. Excuse you.
He's like,
Get out of here. Hey! Get up! Get the fuck out of here, dude. Oh, shit. I fucked up my computer. The very first chainsaw was not intended for cutting down trees. It was actually a medical tool invented in the late 18th century by Scottish doctors John Aitken and James Jeffrey. Scott, John Aitken and James Jeffrey. Did I sound Scottish a little bit? It's not bad, right?
yeah. You sound angry
It's-
for sure.
My Scottish accent is just fat bastard. Like, get in my belly. That's all I got.
Sure.
But it was invented to help in the process of symphysiotomy, which is cutting the cartilage in a female's pubic bone to help birth a baby. And I actually just saw the other
Like
day in a UFC fight
A
a
full
girl.
blown chainsaw to do that.
Okay.
Or was it like
So
a
it's-
tiny version?
It's kind of like, because it's the late 18th century, it didn't have like a 2-cycle motor or anything.
It had like
You
a
didn't add
crank.
oil to it. Literally, it was like the old school egg beaters, but instead of the beaters, it was like a chainsaw, and it looked like it was probably about that big or so like 4 feet, and and it was because when these women would have troubling births, the only way to open up the birth canal was to separate the
Kill them.
cartilage and the pelvic bone. Yeah, and they used to do it like with a knife.
Oh,
And they were like, but that took too long and hurt too much. So they invented a fucking chainsaw to hand crank, saw through bone. So a baby, listen, ladies listening, none of them, you got it easy these days, okay? Because these bitches would put down a bottle of whiskey and get cut down like a redwood in the 1930s. Do you
is
know
this
what I mean?
like so the pelvic bone like in the front? Like is it
I
like,
believe so. So
Because the other way is an episiotomy. I know all about that one. You just fucking
Yes.
connect your
I believe
butthole and
it
your
was-
vagina together, and it's
Yeah,
just one giant hole
exactly.
for some reason.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, right? But yeah, they would just cut it down the middle, and they'd cut the cartilage apart, and it would separate enough for the baby to come through. And I imagine in the late 1800s there weren't like a lot of, or late 18th century. So what's that? The 1700s.
Yeah.
Healing probably wasn't that easy, right?
Oh no.
The husband was like,
They had just invented
Le-
gauze. They were like, we think this will be helpful, but we don't know how to use it.
they're like, shove a couple leeches up there, she'll be fine. And like, the husband would probably come home from work 2 days after the woman got her vagina sawed in half and had a baby, and he'd be like smacking her around for not making dinner. Like Jesus Christ. But
doesn't
part
make
of that,
any sense.
I know, seriously, why wouldn't she have dinner cooked?
Do you know?
You know what I mean?
You know why? Like people, like doctors, it's called practicing medicine, right? Like because it's not like a for sure thing. They need to try things out. Back then, they were for sure practicing. They weren't even fucking. They had no idea what they were doing. At least now
Literally.
we're like, all right, here's a book. This shit seemed to work last time. Let's
Yeah.
just do this again. They were
That's
like,
the beauty
let's just
of-
cut her in half.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, she's what? She's probably at this point, she's 15. She's lived half of her life already. Why don't we if she dies, that's fine. The baby will live,
Yeah.
No wonder literally people were living till 32. And even then, they were like, damn, geezer, did you have time to retire yet?
Do you remember back in like middle school, we had that like Civil War like doctor come to our school and like
Yeah.
reenact what it would be like to do like a surgery back then and
Sawing
shit.
through a bone and shit,
Yeah.
right?
Why did we have to see that? I don't know.
Yeah.
I just remember the sound of like the bone being sawed. Obviously it wasn't real. People get off my back.
Yeah, it's like we also had a large Mongolian come and like rape and pillage a village of women and children. Okay, like
I don't
we
know,
don't
man.
need that history can stay in the past. We don't need it.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm surprised anybody ever did anything back then without dying immediately of some sort of infection.
Yes, exactly. Well, okay, so last part of my fact that you'll find interesting, especially you who owns tools and is pretty handy.
Yeah.
At least you used to be. You moved out to Nevada, and now I've got a bunch of friends. You don't have any time to do anything, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Including being friends with me, but I'm not crying. But so in 1926, the first electric chainsaw was actually produced and sold, and it was patented by Andreas Stihl. Stihl.
HL. Yeah.
Yep.
That's interesting.
I saw that, and I was like, okay, that's I recognize that. So.
Sure.
So yeah, pretty interesting. I saw that on literally the TikTok, pissing me off, dude. It was like the first chainsaw wasn't meant for cutting down trees. Google it and come back and blind react. It's like, no. Your
tell me.
15-second video needs to just inform me of all the information I need if you want me to react to your video.
Yeah.
So I did look it up, and I did not blind react because they did not, or I didn't.
You probably closed
stitch
the app.
video.
You don't even know where the fuck it is at this point. Like,
Exactly, right? Yeah.
that's funny, dude. I have to look that up myself because that doesn't make any sense to me why they would think that was the best option. But
Yes.
was this
exactly.
before C-sections or like
So-
the first C-section was on accident? They were like cutting the vagina or whatever, and they like
Yeah.
slipped.
They missed. They missed with their egg beater and just sliced it
and the
open.
baby just popped out, and they were like, "Hey, that was a lot less cartilage." I don't know.
That
seemed-
worked. C-sections are. I think they were a thing, but it was when it was too late to start the C-section. Like, I don't know if babies were breech, where they're like, feet first, or it was just like the baby had dropped too low and they didn't have time to cut her open or something.
I think
I don't fully
I think they
understand.
just squeezed the mom at that point and just kind of like
Yeah.
poop it out,
Jump on her belly,
Anyway,
She shoots across the room and catch it like a football.
that's interesting.
I,
Your fact had like kind of like an origin story to
Sure.
the chainsaw and like the steel people or whatever.
Yeah.
Who knows if that's how you pronounce it. Who knows? Mine is kind of similar because I remember, first of all, we talked about it a little bit before this pod. Finding these facts is sometimes not easy. Like Robbie
Yeah.
had one kind of fallen into his lap because he happened to see something, and that's good. And that's definitely happened to me before for sure. But this week I just was like, I hope that happens again, and it just didn't. So like an hour before the pod, I'm like frantically searching, like, and some facts are just so not talk aboutable. Like to me, I can't, I can't say that humans and elephants are the only people that are the only animals that have chins and be like a funny segment. I can't say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Apparently that is
Hey,
true.
shit,
I don't know.
I've got 3 of them, so I believe it. Boom, roasted.
I can't say that
Yes.
stuff and have it be like a segment that actually brings up like conversation. So I'm
course.
frantically looking, and I remembered back in the day I did one about Mr. Potato Head and how that started basically. And I thought that was really fun. So I did one very similar, and it's all about the history of Lego. Because I don't know if you can see behind me, but this, and this are all Lego guys. There's a Lego Boba Fett, a Lego Stormtrooper, and a Lego Gauntlet, Infinity Gauntlet. Because why not? I'm a full-blown dork at this point, so just fucking embrace it.
I'm glad you're finally coming to terms with it.
I have one more I haven't done yet, but it's Darth Vader. Anyone get excited.
I almost bought you a Darth Vader toaster at Goodwill the other day, just because you mentioned that when you say you like something, people buy you that present over and over again.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
Well, I'm appreciative because it would have been like $85 shipping.
Yes.
all
Anyways, carry on. So Legos.
Lego was invented by Ole Kirk Christensen, who is a master carpenter, and his son Gottfried Kirk. I'm not even sure what is their last name and what isn't their last. I don't know what.
Yeah.
No idea what's going on there. Is in Denmark, so you got it. It began as a carpentry business in the village of Billund, Denmark, in 1932. They made ladders and ironing boards, but they also made like wooden toys, which, I mean, those are some severe like ladders, toys. Like I don't know how we got to that point, but they adopted the name Lego in 1934, so 2 years later. And Lego in Denmark for Danish, comes from 2 different words. One of them is basically spelled leg. I'm not sure.
Okay.
And the other one is goat. I don't know. So Lego. It just
Like
basically
LEGGOT, like Lego.
it's LEG, and then the other one is GODT.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Like Gal Gadot is like leg Gadot. I don't know how it works. But those 2 words mean play well.
I'd like to play well with her leg gadots. You know what I mean? Man, I'm on a roll.
All right.
I'm awesome. Okay. Sorry.
1947, they started using the plastic injection molding, which was the first thing time that's ever been done, at least in Denmark, which is probably like, who cares really? I don't even know where it is, honestly. In 1954, they started making the bricks. Not exactly the way that we would see them now in 1949. And in 1954, they trademarked the name Lego and then started making the stud and tube bricks that you see now. And literally, like, for some reason, it said that they started out with 28 sets and 8 different vehicles. And I don't remember fucking any vehicles when I was like a kid. I had like the most basic set of Legos that all I could build was a house. That was all I could ever build, or like a shitty plane. Like I didn't have any of the sets that you see now. Like the sets that are insane.
Are you talking about literally just like a T of Legos and you'd be like, it's a plane?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
honestly.
exactly.
I didn't have anything like that. But back in 1954, apparently they had 28 different sets, which I would love to know what those were. Probably like, the mom stay at home and making dinner, or like, like just some weird stuff. And then 8 vehicles. So you're talking like tanks. I don't know what other vehicles they have. Bikes, possibly.
Cars, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. 8 different ones. Hovercrafts for sure. I don't know, man. Now, but they started as like a tiny bullshit company, and now it's just multi-billion, crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane. But basically, this whole fact that I wanted to bring up also has a part 2 to this, because this is something else that I saw on TikTok earlier this week. And have you heard of the Doors versus Wheels debate?
Bro, don't even. Yes, I know it vaguely. I refuse to look into it more than just
Do you want
the
to
question at hand.
Do you want to explain it, or do you know enough?
I just know that some guy said that him and his friends were talking about it and debating which there were more of in the world. Right?
Yeah,
Is that the whole point? Doors or wheels?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think like on the surface, I think wheels for sure. Every car has 4 of them.
Yep.
Bikes have 2 of them.
Motorcycles, there's no doors on a motorcycle. So.
Yeah, yeah. I think wheels has got to be right, but I've heard literally differing opinions. Every time I watch a video, I think that guy's got a point. Actually, like,
Yeah.
I watched one where a guy was like, all the Hot Wheels cars have wheels. Actual cars have wheels. Conveyor belts have wheels. And then they brought up Legos. There are little tiny wheels on like a part of Lego sets.
A bunch, yeah.
And so I was like, for sure, it's got to be wheels. But then somebody else brought up doors and was like, first of all, actual doors, locker doors. And then they even brought up the fact that like a door is basically like something that keeps something from being an open container or something. I can't remember exactly how they said it. And so they were like, in that sense, I would maybe even throw like lids and caps into the doors category. So
There's 4 members of the Doors. You know what I mean? Like,
there's no wheels, honestly. There's
No.
the wheels. So I don't know, man. It's one of those debates that I think will forever be. It's gonna be like the Yanny and Laurel thing and it'll go away in like 2 days. But
yeah, well, of course. I mean, rollerblades, okay?
you just gotta mention things that have wheels.
There's at least 8 wheels on those bad boys. So
Yeah, and there's
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of rollerblades out there.
There's got to be a way to figure it out, but I just it stresses me out to think that there's no way we could possibly know.
Yeah.
What were you saying about when they saying like barn doors?
Yeah. The guy was like, "This is a door," and then he showed like a normal, house door, and then he also showed like a barn door, and he was like, "That door has more wheels than doors." Actually,
Doors, exactly. Damn, because at first, I was like, it's got to be wheels. But then I'm like, then you look, there's so many 4-door vehicles, doors in your house, right?
all the doors you have to open for what the fuck are those called? The calendar, no, the calendar things where you get the
advent
calendars.
Oh,
those are little tiny doors.
Oh my gosh, I can't even. That's
it does like stress me out a little bit, almost to like a phobia level where I'm like, I don't want to think about it. It hurts my head.
Have you ever seen The Price is Right? That's a wheel. Fucking Wheel of Fortune. Spin the wheel. Okay.
Price is Right also has a lot of doors though, dude. They're always like door number 1 or whatever.
Right.
They always have to
but
like
they give
open
away
little...
a lot of cars. Okay.
Yeah.
Which might only have 2 doors and there's 4 wheels. So
But there's got to be some sort of dressing room where there's doors associated with those as well. Trailers, doors.
Well, but don't forget, trailers also have wheels. And how do you think they move all that heavy stuff around the set? Probably on some sort of dolly, which has wheels. Oh, man.
I agree. I think Wheels wins.
No. You know what? You're a fucking door guy. I knew it from the moment I met you that you thought there was more doors than wheels. And honestly, I'm a little disappointed. Nope, I take that back. I'm a lot of disappointed, and the wheels on the bus of this friendship no longer go round and round. Okay?
I didn't even think about buses, dude. There's so many wheels on those bitches.
Oh, shit.
So anyway,
That's crazy.
That Yeah, between the Lego and the doors and wheels conversation, those are my fucking my fucking interesting facts.
Fuck both of our facts. The door wheel argument is really the meat of this episode.
No,
so.
I think a coochie saw beats some of this. Actually, the fucking the Jeff Foxworthy joke you made up on the spot is literally should be professionally written at that point. That is fucking
I'll
hilarious.
send it to my guy Jeffrey. And hey, listen, you've seen those egg beaters.
I have.
How does that turn crank work? Fucking wheel right in the middle. Okay?
Should we do like a wheels, doors versus doors versus handles, and just make it even worse? How many handles are out there? Doors all have handles.
Dude, it makes me so angry because, and this is so stupid because I don't really seek the validation of, random people, but I definitely do at the same exact time.
Yeah.
And I've been grinding hard to get 700 followers on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
I just hit 700 the other day.
Nice.
Thank you. But it's like, that's nothing, right? And I think that I'm fairly entertaining. I put some decent TikToks out there.
Sure.
And just they never get the steam that I'm hoping for. So I mentioned last night in front of my coworker, who is a really nice kid.
Mm-hmm.
And he is funny, but I don't think he's funnier than me. And he's like, yeah, I've got like 5,000 followers on TikTok. And I'm like, fuck you, man. Fuck everybody. How is it possible that I haven't just hit 1,000,
There was two guys that I used to work with, not me personally. They were just happened to be in the same building as me.
Yeah.
They were filming TikToks while at work. Which I don't know if you know this about a lot of companies, but they would probably frown upon that, honestly.
Not a big fan, yeah.
Yeah, and so
especially like in a warehouse where people can get hurt.
Yeah, probably not a good idea to be goofing around with a fucking 12,000-pound vehicle.
Exactly.
Anyway, so a couple of people knew this, obviously, and I was curious as shit, obviously, to be like, what is going on? One of the guys, I think both of the guys had like hundreds of thousands of followers. Like, one of them was kind of like a tool bag, like a guy who would like lip sync some sort of like Dierks Bentley song, but then also like be shirtless at the same time, like that kind of guy.
Your kind of guy.
Yeah, yeah. And then the other guy, I don't really know him at all, but they both had a shitload of followers, and I think the word got around. Basically they were fired. But at one point somebody was like, "Hey, delete your fucking videos. What are you doing? Like, people are gonna find out." And one of the guys' responses that I heard, at least, was like, "No, I have 100,000 like views on that video. I can't."
Yeah.
I was like, "Wait, what? Like, that's worth more to you than a good paying job?" That seems interesting.
That's tough.
I don't know.
If it was enough to get him enough followers that he could potentially turn it into a business and not have to go to that job, then I understand,
Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
But I mean, yeah, it's not that real. And where you work, you can make a decent amount of money for it's not mindless work. It takes brains, but
yeah,
you don't have to go to school for 4 years. You can, make decent money. So.
Sure. Yeah, I just thought that was really interesting. Chris Graham would know all about that as well, because we were like hand in hand and being like, what is going on? Like every day I'd be like, did you see the new video?
I want to give Chris Graham a shout out because I no longer am impressed by 300 games of bowling. Because for in what other sport can you be perfect at it more than once in your life and still only be on a beer league? You know what I mean? in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Like
I told him one time when we were first getting into bowling, and I felt like I was trying to be funny and I didn't feel like it was landing, but I was honestly just like, so bowling's kind of simple, right? Like it's the same lane, the same pins, nobody's even getting in your way. It's just you, right? And I felt like he was, after a while, like, shut the fuck up. How about that? The oil patterns, they change throughout the night. Everybody on the right side, and then because I'm left-handed, he would always say, like, I don't have anybody really fucking with the left side of the lane, so it kind of stays consistently throughout the night. But basically, bowling's super simple. I don't know. He would laugh at that, but also probably silently be like, "You're a fucking asshole."
Yeah, well, I'm talking shit, and so it's coming from a guy who I shot like a 172 once in my life when I was 12, and then my average since then is like 79 pins. So I know that it's not really easy. It's just simple. There's a difference, right?
I think
What
it's
would
simple
really
if you're
make
like
it-
super consistent,
Yes.
and we're not.
What would really make it interesting is if they put a bowling ball like in the middle of like a wrestling mat or an octagon, and then you had to like fight over it to get the ball, and then when you got the bowling ball, you smashed your opponent over the head with it, bludgeoned them to death, and then severed their head, and then used the head as to throw at the pins.
Would
know
you
what I
use
mean? Or something like that?
Would you use the coochie saw to cut their head off?
Oh, I mean, if you wanted to be painless, yeah. And then afterwards, you could use it to whip up some scrambled eggs and, to refuel for your next match. It would be perfect.
That's really funny you mentioned the egg beater thing, because my grandparents had one of those. And for some reason, I was like fascinated by that as a kid. I still am, honestly. If I had one right here, I would stare at it and play around with it for like 10 minutes at least. Just at like the engineering that took to do that. Also, how many eggs do you need to be beating to use that fucking contraption? Like a fork would do it.
Exactly.
I don't know. A fork,
You're good.
It's fine. You just fucking back and forth.
You can just crack an egg in the pan and then just break the yolk, and it's basically doing the same shit.
I don't know why you needed this fucking World War II contraption.
And not to mention how many people probably got their dick stuck in it. You know what I mean? Like, I know for
at least
me,
pubes, at least.
yeah, it's got to be super normal, right? I got my ball skin and my dick caught in one of those. I'm assuming you did too, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure, bro.
I imagine that. Yeah, I'm sure that's an experience we all shared. So
yeah, hey, that's a good place to end it. Right in the
Yeah,
experience we've all shared. Thank you guys for listening. Send us an email. Go to our website, twofuckingidiots.com. If you want to send us an email without doing that, sure. twofuckingidiots@gmail.com. But at the website, there's a link you can click, and it does it for
easy.
you. It does it for you.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
We appreciate you guys for listening. Get out there and show her what that coochie saw. All right.
All right. Bye, guys.
Peace.
Happy or sad, it's story time with two fucking idiots.
Dude, that was the fucking funniest thing you've ever said in your entire life. Like when you said it, I was like, "Oh, that sounds like one of those Jeff Foxworthy things." But then I completely flubbed when I tried to like make one up, and then you just made up one funnier than Jeff Foxworthy has ever fucking said.
Well,
in the history of Jeff Foxworthy.
Made that joke a few times, maybe heard that joke over the years somewhere, like gave my wife 12 inches last night, we had sex 6 times or whatever, like stupid shit like that.
Yeah,
but it just happened to come together perfectly at the last minute. So
God, that was fucking hilarious. I literally wanted to stop the pod at that point and just be like, holy fuck, that was hilarious.
Oh, finally, what is this, our 72nd episode? I finally made a good joke. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's okay. We all make contributions as we go forward. But yeah, dude, that was fucking hilarious. I literally wrote it down just so I could mention it to you. Because sometimes we do say something and I don't hear it until later, and I'm like, damn, that was really funny, or that was a really good story, or whatever. That was hilarious.